Good
Reindeer.
morning. Here we go. We are live for the art of encouragement. I've got a great friend, Greg McClintock, and of course, everyone knows and loves Mark Guy, the star of the show, the encourager original here. So it is wonderful joining you all today. Mark, you were just telling us about reindeer. I cut in when the broadcast started. Please reshare because I think our audience would love hearing about those reindeer today.
There's a video that I saw on the social platform that's saying that the reindeer were looking for the new pasture. And reindeer, and there's like young reindeer, the bucks, the older ones. And there were so many of them, they blocked the traffic for like hours. There's so many. They just decided to go across the road. You look to the left, you look to the right, and you cannot see the end of them. It's so many. The nature is so abundant, and I feel that life is abundant, and it starts with us, starts
Yeah.
with us. You got to sing the song of abundance, even though if you're the only one listening, but you got to start.
What does that mean to you? What is abundance? How does someone sing a song of abundance if they never seem to things don't seem to work out? They're always a dollar short, they're always late. How can someone transform their way of thinking and their mindset from being woe is me, it's not gonna work, to yeah, this is gonna happen. It may not be how I planned, but it's gonna be awesome. How do we do that, Mark?
Well, I want to make sure that we give a space and time to Greg, but I will start if you give me that indulgence. I feel that
Please.
sometimes we have to. It's a journey. Some people are, they doubt themselves, they reject themselves, they discount and discard their value, and I feel it's a tragedy, and it's a sad reality for so many people. So I just say find something that you love, fall in love with what you do, and do little things that create abundance in your life. I know, Nick, you are right now at the Toastmasters District 84 annual conference. I had
I
many.
am.
It's a great celebration. You make lasting memories. This is where you and I met about 2 years ago, like to this day, just plus or minus one day. And I had a chance to go to those conferences every year and other districts as well. And in 2015, there was a contest, and it was in a great ballroom. And upon the conclusion of the contest, they rolled out a red carpet, and they had like, like a little, like an area where you cannot enter. And they were
Right.
introducing the speakers. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to get over the thing, and I'm going to walk on the red carpet. And nobody else did that. And I just did it. I said, you got to do these little things. You got to believe that you deserve the abundance, and you got to go for it. Be a rebel. Legal rebel, right? But be a little,
Yes.
bend the rules
You
just a
have to
little
say that
bit.
with this group here. No.
Oh my gosh, you're too much, Nick. You're too much. So that's
I
all I'm gonna
know,
say.
I
Yeah,
know
that's
a
what my
guy.
doctor said too. That's why they want less of me. Greg, tell me, what is abundance? How does someone go and you and I have journeyed together for several years, and Mark, although we met in person, I loved meeting you even before then with our collaboration with Toast Tank and all of those things. But Greg and I have known each other a while, and we've seen people in
Oh yeah.
those situations over and over where they have a bleak output. They because they have failed publicly so many times, and people don't speak life into them. They speak doubt. They speak, I don't know about this one. It's hard to develop when people are looking at you that way. It's hard to say, I'm a winner. I'm going to do this when everyone around you doubts you. Greg, how would you recommend someone that's in that position today? Just they've been in a perpetual cycle of what would seem to be failure and loss. How can they go to abundance?
Well, just the way I did or anyone else does. We hear all the power statements, Tony Robbins, all the great ones back, Zig Ziglar, uh, themes of religion, try harder, breakthrough. But it first comes down to choice, personal choice. Got a little story for you. I'm going to go ahead. What Mark was talking about, you were talking about before the broadcast, you had called me and asked me to join. And thank you for letting me be here. I'm Greg McClinic. I am a pastor. I am a wannabe author. I'm a power speaker. I'm a comedian. I'm a lot of things, but I'm a son. I'm a father. And everybody that would listen now, here, YouTube, or forever on Facebook, remember this. I am a person that finally believed that I was somebody when I was in prison. And I want to share circumstantial encouragement is another art of encouragement, things around you. Because when you look to people and resources, they're just absent sometimes. So here's a story I tell a lot. It's 3 minute worth. Hi, I'm Greg. I'm Greg. I'm a man with a mop. Actually, that's how I started off in prison with the mop and doing a life sentence without parole. And an officer would stand over me every day because I would be mopping the floor and stripping and waxing the floor. But in there, you can have no chemicals. I had to do everything by hand. Many of us, many inmates, but I was one of them. And I would be on the floor with stainless steel and ammonia and effort to get wax off the floor. It was slow. We had life. You're going nowhere and you are not appreciated. But God has so changed my life in a personal relationship. One day I said enough. I can't say enough to him. I can't say enough to I'm leaving. This is Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you're never leaving. And that's what the paperwork said. So what are you going to do? Well, I flipped my Bible open. I'm a new Christian. And I saw the worst verse ever, and I want to tear it out of my Bible. I had tape. I tore it out and taped it later because I learned the lesson. It was the Second Timothy where it talks about even your taskmaster that's over you, treat them as though you're serving God through them. Why did I read that on the way to work call? But it worked on me, and I want to try that. So I went in with heart attitude. Nothing changed. Circumstances didn't change. But when I changed personally, circumstances came to me. About a week after that, a classification woman walked by, said, McClintock, come to my office. We see you've had some college. We see you're educated by more than my surrounding class, sadly, who can't read or write most of the time, and told me, why don't you become a law clerk? I'll be a law clerk, know nothing about the law. Gladly be a law clerk. I'll read books and stare all day. But I'm in air conditioning, and this man with a mop was no more. 23 years later, I'd be released miraculously, which is a whole nother broadcast, walking from the darkness into the light. And I have friends that know about that. I get home to society and I go to a work program, and they say, get on the computer and look up a job. I don't know anything about computers. I saw a bulletin board. I'm in prison, now I'm in public. The circumstances are encouraging me, and it was for state and federal jobs for ex felons. What? Well, I'm kind of acquainted with them criteria. And then they give me a job with a mop in the courthouse, stripping and waxing floors with all the automatic tools, with all the easiest you could possibly do it, and paying me a minimum wage. And would go every day to the courthouse working for a job I used to have. That's why God told me, treat them as though you're serving me, and I'll bring it to a place to where everyone can see you serving me. When Nick called me this morning, I was at Hollywood Hair. I have the name, I have my personal company for the last 2 years, the same man with a mop. I strip and wax floors and shampoo carpets, and the name of the company is called The Stripper because the liquid stripper changed my life. Because I remember I used to hate the job. Now I love the job. Make a couple $1,000s a day when I get the job. So it's casual, it's slow. The man with the mop. So all the circumstances of life, if you push through persistently with a little tenacity, God will change your circumstances. Which means, in closing, Circumstances do not matter. What do you think? Do you believe, like Mark said, in the abundance? Do you believe that you're okay? Don't look around. It's just not help. Help will come. Thank you. Mark, there you go. Take off with that.
I don't know. I never heard that part of your story, Greg. You're a revelation, my friend. You are
Thank you.
walking miracle. I think all of us are working walk in talking miracle. That's a revelation. You know, we here every week, Nick and I, we get together. We have awesome guests like you and others. Every week we talk about encouragement. It is so good to hear your part of your story too. And you know, we're social animals. We want to emulate. We want to copy. We want to like, oh, he felt that. He found that. He created that. What else can he do? What can I do? What can we do? That's the questions I have in my mind. It's not a competition. It's maybe a
No.
competition to become better, but not a competition like, you know, we competing against each other. And you know, I love how Tony Robbins teaches, and I listened to him this week. Every week I listen to him because I'm a loyal fan, and I have all his recordings and all his teachings. And he said that competition, according to him, came from a Latin word to compete, to move each other forward, not to compete against each other, but to move each other forward. And I just love that.
Absolutely. And I believe that that's key with competition. Competition can be incredibly unhealthy, but it can be incredibly healthy and a catalyst for us to push one another forward, as long as at the end of the day we're cheering for each other and not trying to step on one another to get ahead. Competition is a fantastic thing because when we compete, we are putting ourselves against others who are also preparing. When I competed as a pianist, it was wonderful because I was able to go to that sense of, or to that place of excellence in a way that without that competition element, I don't know that I would have been ready for. I was able to be mindful. I was able to be present. And I was able to learn to deal with the fear. I had crippling fear of
Hmm.
being vulnerable in front of other people. I used to love to hide behind the piano and just play. I hated walking out onto the stage. It would cause me great anxiety not to play, but to walk out and to have to bow and to have to those little things are, they gave me anxiety. And without being in the competition, I probably would not have done them over and over. And now they're second nature. I still hang up every once in a while when I think about it,
Mhm.
because that's not comfortable for me. Without those experiences, though, where I pushed myself, I wouldn't do it now the right way. And competition is so healthy when it's done well, especially if we're competing against ourselves and continually striving to make, Nick from last week, I want to be better than him. And, next week's Nick wants to be better than me. So it's a succession, and it is a journey, and we have to engage.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
Greg, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump in the round robin here. Tony Robbins is, of course, iconic, but you'll find as you followed him, I did from a distance in old leftover books in the library in prison. Zig Ziglar, who's that guy? He was dead and gone. But the principles that he or anyone teaches are first and foremost universal truth. And when they remind us of the simplicity of universal truth, it's fresh and new again, generation to generation. I'm more of his age. I'm 62. I got guests at 45. Okay, I was at the blind school. The guy was feeling the lumps, but it doesn't matter. It made me feel good that I have a different persona when I come across to people than what they might think. So circumstances, I've learned to find my encouragement in them, not what happened. What came to me today, not what happened to me today. What came, the guy cut me off in traffic on the way here. It's pouring down the rain right here. But what came to me today? I walked in, they had a problem with this big beauty shop, Hollywood Hair. It's a massive place, 4,000 square feet, but they got chairs and furniture. My wife, I had a problem. I told my wife, I'm going down here. What are we going to do this furniture? And I can't move it. They're not going to move it, but I want this deal. She's fixing her hair. Get a U-Haul truck and park it in front and have them put it out there and then bring it back in when you're done. Like it's like some kind of genius. I go down there and I say it as Nick is on the phone calling me. She said, that's a great idea. Here's my credit card. All that all have circumstances comes when you, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm gonna go down here and I gotta get the deal. If it's a no, it's a no. But I got an hour because I'm gonna be on podcast, which I enjoy, but I have to still work. So circumstances, I find encouragement in it, but I have to look what comes to me, not what happened to me. What happened to me, I caused. I accept that. But what comes to me is every opportunity to step in. I cannot imagine being afraid to walk on the stage. I cannot. Imagine. I got called down to a county convention center 2 months ago by a woman pastor, two contemporary was Casting Crowns, Mickey Bell comedian, and some introductory group was doing a concert. Come on down. We need you to do some backstage work, some announcing. Man, I drive down there 45 minutes, suited up. Don't know what I'm walking. Saw the big vans walk to the backstage for the first time ever in my life. Saw the concert setups. Here's all the little bricks and burgers and food with people, circumstances coming to me, getting encouraged, getting pumped up, just walking around. Hearing the artist. Oh, hi. I said, hi, my name's Greg. Good to see you, Greg. I walked on backstage. Now I'm on the stage where they got the curtain down. They got the lights down. See the drum sets, see the guys, see all the wire up. I'm waiting for a hookup mic that I know nothing about, but I dreamed to myself, if I ever got out someday, I'm going to talk to the world. Then I got out. She comes, your uniform's over here. Oh man, maybe I'm going to be down in security. Give me a fat guy jacket. I'm 6'6", 336. A voice like this, security, please. You know, I'll play any role. What do you got? They put me in the shredder enemy of Ninja Turtle review. I'm a 6'6", 300-pound shredder, evil character in Ninja Turtles, because this was a concert for kids and youth. My power moment, circumstances, I'm encouraged, but the world doesn't know because I had a helmet on. But I'll be back. I'll be back. It just doesn't matter what happens. It's what comes to you today, whether it's my wife saying, get a truck and get the deal, whether it's come on down. And these were all within the hour. That's how I live. It's not compulsive. That's me looking for something. When the phone rings, I'm a fireman. Can't wait. You do improv, Mark. You're stellar at it. Teach it. You coach it. All I want to do is know how to get directed to this thing called life. And that's where I can connect with anybody, everyone in this life difficulty today. But be encouraged. Be encouraged. Have the effort, have the coffee, and look what comes today. That is good.
You know what I noticed from you, Greg? That you have this zest for life. You really love life.
Oh,
You
well,
really love life. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
it shows so well.
yeah. Oh, I do. Oh, I really do. I had life sentence or love life. I love life, not life sentence. So it's all perspective.
You know, I think you can start with that. You can start your talk with that. I love my life, not a life set. I mean, you say, you know, I think if you can pull it off, you definitely can. And it's very, you know, it's people become awake when you have that type of attitude, because everyone is looking for inspiration, right? Especially right now, you know. And you know why this podcast is great, this broadcast? Because we do it on Fridays. On Fridays, you know, it's either way, it's the end of the work week for many people, and they're tired. They're so many things are happening in their lives. So this is what this mission of this podcast is to encourage people right when they feel depleted.
How, in that sense, Mark, it sounds like today we've talked a lot about circumstances not affecting our momentum, and for us to be intentional with our approach and how we process different situations, different circumstances, from being sentences like a life sentence. You're talking with two people here. I was sentenced to 99 years, Greg, life without parole. And meeting us, we realized you would not know that unless we told you that.
Exactly.
And that is one of the things, though, it sometimes makes people uncomfortable when we share our journey, because they're like, it doesn't equate, it doesn't compute. And what they realize, what they fail to, I guess, realize, because they weren't there, and they hear prison and that's just like an ending. And for many people, it is just a dark, dark place. But even there is the choice to live in that darkness or to press toward the light. People are in their own prisons. We've all been given a life sentence, and either it can be something where we're just waiting to die, whether you're in a prison or not. I find so many people that are chained down to memories, to something. They're still mad at someone that happened 45 years ago, and they don't talk to that person or any of those, that person's children, and they're locked up. They're locked up, and they've not been able to move on with grace, with forgiveness. And my heart goes out to those people, if I can be incredibly candid, for the people that are so locked in and trapped in the rat race each and every day. And I'm so thankful that I was able to get out of that cycle of being in a rat race, spinning the wheel, never going anywhere. That's a prison. And many people are in life sentences because they don't know how to get off the wheel. If we can do anything with the art of encouragement, we want you to own your wheel. We want you to realize what a gift life is. We didn't have life for several years, Greg, even more than myself. And so do we get excited about life? Yes. Are we passionate? Absolutely, because we didn't have these opportunities for so many years. And when I look at people now, I look at them so differently, because I can tell the people that are experiencing life and the people that are doing a life sentence.
Mhm.
Two completely different people. If you feel like you're in a life sentence today, you can change that. Reach out to us. We want to help you, whether we ever get a dollar or not. That's not what this is about. This is about encouraging you to embrace what you have right now. Greg and I, we had nothing when several years ago, a few years ago, nothing, but we had hope.
Ah,
We had hope. And that hope, you see, spreading hope, inspiring change. That's the heart of the art of encouragement. The heart of the art goes back to hope, because we were in places where that's all we had, but it was so real that it carried us forward. It wasn't just a figment, it wasn't just a pipe dream. It was tangible. That hope was tangible. And without me holding on to that hope, when I lost every single person I loved, when I didn't have access to a piano, when I just had completely gone to that place myself of giving up, and hope found me again. Hope found me. And when I caught just a glimpse of hope. I grabbed onto it so tightly, and I have never let go, and I will never let go, because it's that hope that sustains us. And and people, if you didn't get the degree you wanted to get, either it's not meant to be, or you need to do something about it today and go get that degree. You
That's
don't
right.
have that job that you knew as a kid you were going to have. What are you going to do about it? Are you just going to keep complaining about it and say, well, I could have done this, I was always good, and putting yourself above the people that actually did the work and got in there and did it? You were responsible for your life, not your spouse, not your parents, not your children. And it's easy to displace blame onto those people. But today, can you affect your situation by making intentional changes so that you can grab onto that hope of being the person you know you're supposed to be? That is your choice, and you can't put it on anyone else. It's up to you to live the life you want. It's up to you to experience and enjoy life instead of going through the motions and living a life sentence. I've said way too much. I apologize.
No, you didn't, because you fired up, and I'll take the hot mic. Thank you, my little helping hand here. Okay, I'll jump right in there.
You're muted. You're muted, Greg.
That's the favorite thing the world was trying to do to me. Hear me talking from myself when they walked by. I'll even use that. I didn't mute intentionally, but now that I have a voice, I'm certainly going to use it. Nick and I were talking the other day. He told me something about me, how I encouraged him. I knew nothing about. He had just arrived at a prison where I was at. Now, Nick, go ahead and tell him what you told me the other day, how we met, and I just basically had conversation, what that meant to you, then get back.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first arrived at that particular
That right,
prison,
exactly.
I was in the dorm maybe an hour or so, and right across from me, just down the way, was this amazing person that had a nickname I won't say on here. And and everybody said, "Oh, that's him. He's yeah." And he was over. He was like, "Let me talk to you." And he told me, he was just so engaging, encouraging, and just the person you see now. He had already gone through his change. He was already living in hope, and it was so inspiring to me. And he and I were also part of a Toastmasters club together called Nikos, Greek for victory.
And
And
with that as a launch pad is the point. I didn't even know. I've been doing what I'm doing now with this energy in the cell block.
yes, this is who I met there. And I needed this. I needed it. Yeah, the first day, he was the very first person there that welcomed me and just said, "I'm Greg. And what's your name?" Just, and I was not used to that in the correctional environment.
I'll give it back to
So
Mark,
being
but
genuine.
the point to, can you hear me fine?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, 30 seconds and I'm done. Back to Mark. The point of that is not for accolades. The point of that was I found my hope. And even in my meaningless circumstances, I was me. The most dangerous thing you can do in prison is be a happy greeter. They'll think you're a cop. Go ahead, Mark. I've enjoyed my time.
I, I
I love
just
Greg.
I just learned so much more about both of your perspectives today. Nick always shares freely, and I appreciate. And what you were saying before, that sometimes if you encounter resistance, you say something and that's the end. And I don't think it just extends to your circumstances. Some people may think, oh, this person is from this type of environment or from this type of this part of the country or from another country or from, a different beliefs, and they say, okay, that's the end. I don't want to continue anymore. And to that point, I want to say it's a cultural programming. And if you open up your mind, your heart, your opportunities will flow, more opportunities of abundance. So it's not just to your circumstances. We see it every day. And I think it's a cultural programming that actually keeps us away from abundance that is all around us.
And proof of that is the highest decorated music award recipient this past weekend was Jelly Roll. On the morning news around the world was Jelly Roll. Out of the penitentiary, changed his life. He did his music craft, and now he's on the world stage. The people that don't, I'm not hesitant to tell my story because the people that don't like it, I'm not trying to reach. They've not made their mind up to learn. The people that hear the story and applaud an overcomer, I want to let the world know. I'll be talking to Jelly Roll or a guy like him. I have a story to tell.
Absolutely. Well, guys, it is 10:32 this morning. I know that we've had an amazing group here. If I could give everybody maybe 20 seconds to give a nice goodbye and everything, and I can't wait to see everyone next Friday right here at 10 o'clock on the Art of Encouragement. I'm going to have a great time at Toastmasters this weekend, and I'm looking forward to bringing more people here with us. And Greg, you're at home here. We love having you here, and just so thankful that you are continually striving for more. You're continually striving to share hope and to share your journey. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate you, Mark, because you're an ever present encourager. Everything you put out inspires me. And I'm so glad to call you gentlemen friends. Thank you so much for being my encouragers today. And I'm going to give it to Greg, and then you can pass it to Mark.
That's great. Less than 20 seconds. Less than 20 seconds. Zig Ziglar, the great sales motivational speaker that Tony Robbins grew up listening to, he said the harder you work, the luckier you get. Circumstances doesn't matter. Put your best effort out and you will prosper. And with that, I encourage you, Mark.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Nick. I will finish up with this is let yourself take more risks. And if you want to sing in the shower, sing in the car, sing in your house, do it, try it. It will help with your breathing. It will help with your fitness, and it will inspire others out of their funk, whatever or the way they feel stuck. So my message is to sing as freely, as joyfully as you can. And I will see you all next week.
See ya.
See you. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Greg.